So here we have the cross of Ahichar crossed to Fidalgo Roja. That's on the left, and then on the right we have the reciprocal of Fidalgo Roja crossed to Ahichar. And as you can see from the seedlings, we're dealing with a cross that is a purple parent crossed to a green parent. And so purple is dominant, and so as you'd expect, all of the seedlings are purple. And this occurs because Fidalgo Roja is homozygous for the little r dominant purple gene. And so the theory goes is that all of these plants contain one copy, which is heterozygous and a diploid, and therefore are accumulating the purple pigment. As there are no other visible signs that would tell me that any of these plants are an outcross or not the intended cross, I'm just going to pick the best positioned or largest plant, and then I'm going to cull the rest of the seedlings. So we'll start with the big guys, Fidalgo Roja crossed to Ahichar. So you can see the tag back here. This is our cross PA006. And you can see both seedlings, I mean, they look exactly the same. There's nothing about them that would tell me one is the cross and one is not. And so we're going to take this guy on the right out. Sorry, dude. Try to keep as much of that soil in there as I can. Get your dead leaves out of your tent, they harbor mites. There's one, and we'll do the same for the other guy, and we're going to take the guy on the left out. Alright, so now I have two plants from the cross of FDR by Ahichar, and again we expect them to be highly similar. But if one does end up being an outcross, I'll just cull him and move forward with the one true cross plant. So now we're going to do the other guys. So these are the Ahichar crosses, and so these started with a smaller seed. They took a day longer to germinate, and they're still just pretty small plants. Again, all the plants, they look the same. There's nothing about the leaf shape or the pubescence in the leaves, and pubescence is like the little hairs. There's all different kinds of pubescence, like tomentose and filamentous and all sorts of stuff, but I just stick with the standard definition unless we're looking at variation here. And so we'll keep the top right and kill the others. There we go, one plant. And they'll grow much faster without that competition in the pot, and that's why it's really critical to do this. It doesn't bring me much joy. It brings me a little bit of joy, but mostly I just want plants to look at here. And so you can see we'll keep the bottom right guy here. Do everything we can not to to disturb the roots of the guy I'm going to keep. Alright, two crosses, two plants each, so that'll be pretty good moving forward. So this is the cross that I wasn't able to send out because I only ever had 4 seeds. One of them ended up being purple. And so this is Ahichar, which is green, and then pink habanero long, and that's also green. And there's no way you get a purple cross unless it's a random mutant, and that's pretty unlikely. And so I already pulled him out. So we got one plant in this pot, and we got 2 in this pot. And so we're going to cull one. Looking at the leaf shape, they look identical, or at least very similar. There's nothing about pubescence that would tell me one is different than the other. So, what do you think? Kill the one on the left? Yeah. Sorry, dude. This is another one of those parents that I was just not excited about. It ended up not being sweet. It ended up not tasting very good. It wasn't even really hot. The only thing that it's got going for it is, you know, the fruit color. The plant architecture is okay, even that's not too great. So we'll see. IHR Pita is a good parent, so maybe we can get most of our good traits from that guy, and get the color and a few other things from pink habanero along. So this is the cross of IHR Pita crossed to Cheiro Roxa SC. And it turned out that Cheiro Roxa SC was heterozygous for the purple gene. And so when it makes pollen gametes, it can either make a gamete carrying the purple gene or a gamete carrying the green gene. And then IHR Pita always makes gametes carrying the green gene. And so half the time you expect to get a purple plant, and half the time you expect to get a green plant. And looking at what you call the segregation ratio, the number of green plants to the number of purple plants, it doesn't in fact appear that IHR Pita was green and Cheiro Roxa by SC was heterozygous. And because of that, we ended up getting both green and purple plants. And Cheiro Roxa, again, like pink habanero long, is not that exciting of a parent. The fruit quality was really below par. It overcropped as a plant. It made way too many peppers and about broke the branches off, which isn't necessarily a good thing. So again, we'll hope that Char Pita gives us good qualities in the plant and in the fruit, and then we can get the fruit color from Cheiro Roxa by SC, and maybe get a nice fruit blush from one of the purple plants. So one of the containers we only have one plant, and it's a purple guy. And so just so that I can have one purple and one green F1 to select seeds from, or to save seeds from, we're going to kill this little purple guy here. And this is an easy cull because I don't really even like this cross so far. But we'll see. Sometimes you get surprised. So there you go. IHR Pita by Cheiro Roxa by SC. So this was a mistake, an error that I made that I'm going to own up to. And so as soon as they had 2 mature leaves, I started doing about a 25% normal strength of liquid fertilizer. And all the Chinense crosses handled it really well, but all of the Bacatum crosses just got toasted. And I'll show you, what happens when you do something like that. And so these are just some Bacatum crosses from my own personal stuff. And you can see that all the immature leaves just got toasted. And then if you look on the margin of the leaf, you can see how it's yellow. Especially at the tip here, you're getting a little bit of necrosis and you got this yellow margin on it. Both of those are classic signs of salt stress. And so the salt is accumulating in the edge of the leaves and just burning the tissue. So that's one Bacatum cross. Here's the second Bacatum cross in the tent, and you can see again I've burnt the leaf tips and the immature leaves are toasty in there. And then we've got a third cross here as well, and so you can see again I've toasted most of the leaves on this guy and the margins are turning yellow. And I thought I was going to get away with it, but I also toasted the plant for Yellow Brazilian Starfish by Sugar Rush Peach, and you can see in there that I burnt the immature leaves, and the margins of the leaves don't look too bad here, but I suspect they would if I continued dumping fertilizer on them. And then we have one oddball guy, and so he looks like he's growing normally now, but if you look in here, I don't know what he's doing, but he's just kind of sitting there, not really making any new leaves. So we'll see. Things are going well, but you got to own up to your errors, and I've definitely fertilized my Bacatum crosses too early. So I'm going to baby them. They'll come back, but they'll be a little stunted for a couple weeks here.